2, 1. Okay. Hello, you guys, and
welcome to the Woman's Cave.
Yes, it's a lonely women's cave for Winona today. Hence why the light is so dim. My spot is missing me. But yeah, I'm off camera, you guys, because you know me and the bronchitis.
I'm just saying, my narcissism has reached across to take your spot.
Dang it. Okay, so you know me and bronchitis, we always have a struggle.
Yeah.
And it's winning.
Unfortunately, yeah, she's coming back down with it. Went to the doctors. It's gonna be a while again. I'm so sad. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I kind of.
Well, we caught it before it got too bad, so that's exciting.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of miss her being here, but then I'm like, there's so much more room.
At this point, I think I have chronic bronchitis.
You better not, because I actually need you.
Well, the thing is, it's totally. Oh, I'm Jade.
Oh, I'm Winona. Good job, Jade. Good catch.
Yay. Okay, so the thing is that my doctor's like, you need to stop traveling. And I'm like, but I need to see my fans. I'm being like, Winona, I need to see my fans. You see the people that love me.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the fact that people love you.
Wow. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Wow. You know what? I'm just going to continue on because we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guest today.
More important than us today.
Yeah.
Definitely more important.
And then when Winona says that, you know it's serious.
Oh, yeah. Because my narcissism, like, I will take a bow.
Okay, so you guys, you know that we are the co-authors, co-founders, along with 11 other wonderful, beautiful ladies.
It's weird hearing you say this, and I'm sitting here by myself. I'm like, I'm about to smile at the pillow.
Smile at the pillow because
and as I interrupted you, because I don't like to make money.
She does it. So, of the And I Thought ladies and the And I Thought series, and I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons, and I thought being grown up was easy, and I thought I could juggle it all, and I thought I did my journey alone, and I thought I had it all figured out, which I love the title a little bit because when you think you have life figured out, that's when everything just falls the heck apart. It's like life laughs at you.
Just like I'm laughing because I thought I had my life figured out, and then yesterday happened.
Yeah, you know, it's just like on some random Tuesday, Thursday, you'll be like, what? Why did my whole life just fall apart? Then I thought I had it all figured out.
Oh wait, you guys.
Hold on, that's a fiction.
Oh yes, this is a fiction, by the way. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Do not destroy my set.
You're not even over here.
I don't care. I don't care. I have bronchitis and I'm over here coughing. Excuse me, you guys. Yes, but it doesn't really matter. Don't destroy my set.
Pass me the book. Throw me the book. Watch out, cameraman people.
Boom.
Thank you. And I thought being grown up was easy because it wasn't up there today. Okay, there you go. Moving on.
So
we have made our poor guests wait long enough doing our banter about bronchitis and
so bronchitis. She just got over some earaches. Winona did. It's
y'all
crazy.
Don't want to know about my double earache, double toothache.
Well, we're taking people's advice, and they're like, we want to know a little bit more about your life. So there it is.
So we'll tell you about our illness. There you go.
We're boring, but our guest today is very exciting.
Would you care to introduce yourself, our lovely TV executive producer guest?
Wow.
I would. My name is Brandy Miller, and I run 40daywriter.com, which is a place for aspiring authors and entrepreneurs to get the help they need to get their books out of their heads and onto the page so they can actually make money, make a difference, and achieve their dreams. Yes, yay money. I mean, ain't that the nice thing, right? And so the project that I'm currently working on putting together is called 40 Day Writer Reality TV. And it'll be where 40 writers compete for 40 days to finish, polish, and pitch their books to publishers who will then compete Shark Tank style for the rights to produce those works. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, have you ever seen Shark Tank?
Yes, please tell me this is actually where they have to write their books in a Shark Tank.
No, we're not going to be writing a Shark Tank.
That for sure.
Although, you know, I did consider renting like a haunted place for them to write their books in. You know, ambiance is good. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I'm about to say. And then when they come up with their pages, they're going to blame you. I wrote 40 pages, and then you rented this haunted place. So where did they go? We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle. They went into the show and nobody came out. We're not sure what happened, but the cameras were left rolling.
And this is what happened. You know, that's not a television show. That's a movie, right?
Yeah. Blair Witch Project or something.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. The Blair Witch Project.
What that is, but
It was a really terrible horror show that was overhyped. I mean, I went to the movie with my mom, and my mom and I love horror movies, but not for the reason most people do. I find very rare for a horror movie to actually scare me. It's usually kind of the stuff that you like, man, these people are so dumb you could strangle them with a cordless phone.
The sad part is when I was laughing, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. And then when I actually got the cordless part, yeah, I'm a little slow. I'm still meditating.
Wow, yeah. Medication is real from the doctor, you guys.
Because in my head, I was like, oh, they're going to wrap the cord around. No, she said cordless.
Exactly. So,
Okay,
yeah.
And so, Shark Tank style, I mean, what do you mean?
Well, I want the publishers to basically have a bidding war for those books, because these people are going to have built all the things that a publisher dreams of having. An author with an audience, an author with people salivating, waiting to buy the book as soon as they can get it. You know, and an author who's got the savvy to be able to help continue promoting that book after it's produced. One of the greatest fears a publisher has is that they're going to get a truckload of returned books from bookstores because the books didn't move.
Exactly.
So, please tell all the authors out there that think just because they signed a publishing contract that they don't have to do any marketing. Please tell.
Oh, yeah. No. In fact, in this day and age, if you don't know how to market yourself already by the time your book gets to the publisher, you can pretty much flush your hopes of that publisher picking you up.
And what do you mean by marketing?
You need to be able to get out there and get public and get visible and tell people about your book loud and on the mountaintop everywhere you go, anywhere you go, at any time of day. People need to know about your book. They need to know why they need your book. They need to know why it's the most exciting thing since sliced bread, you know. Basically, they need to be ready to buy the minute that book launches.
Absolutely. I absolutely 110% agree. And I love that because as writers, you know, we do sit behind our computers and we pour our heart and soul and maybe sometimes years into it. And we think once we have it out there, it's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah. As a writing coach, one of the things I dread hearing, and one of the things that tells me clearly this person has not done their homework at all, is to hear these words. My book is going to be a bestseller. Oh, really? Do you even know what it takes to make bestseller list? Because let me tell you, unless you have a prepackaged plan for how you're going to sell 9,000 copies in a single week, you don't have a bestseller. You have a bestseller possibility. But you're going to have to do a lot of work, before you're ready to have a bestseller.
Yay! Can I say something? Okay, normally when you're on camera, you ain't got jack to say.
You know what? You know what I want to find?
But now I'm sitting here looking like a talking head, something that PR people will never pick up, just nodding my head. And you know what I'm saying? You do questions. Okay, moving back. You can have it. Well, now that you started coughing, I surely will. Now, of course. Of course. I have nothing to say.
Oh.
Well, anyway, Brandy, I wanted to ask you about you said Shark Tank style, and then how are you planning on getting started? Because just like a publisher and the book and a writer, it's going to be a long uphill battle.
It is going to be a long uphill battle, and this is kind of where I'm beginning right now, is letting people know that we are doing this show in as many formats as I can possibly reach people. I've also gathered a group of coaches together who collectively, I added it up, we have like 40,000 people on first level contact reach. So that's nice because these people have already built those trust relationships with their audiences and have already developed those contacts. So getting them to participate with those coaches, you know, their connection with their coaches, the coaches can help to like encourage their people to participate. So that's the other part of it. Third part of it is starting February 18th, I'm doing a 40-day writing challenge where I'm going to be helping guide people along what it will really take to get their book finished and written. And that will be released not only as an email thing, but also I'm going to be doing videos on YouTube every day to make sure that they have what they need, the information that they need to start thinking about writing their own book and to see that, yes, it really is possible to do it in 40 days. what it requires is discipline and being able to sit your butt in your chair for about 2.5 hours a day. And then, and a lot of people think that it's this magical thing to write a book. And there's not really much magic involved. It's about sitting in the butt in the chair and thinking about who your book is going to impact. Who is it you want to reach with that book? And writing for that person. Because if you're not writing for a specific audience, if you're just writing for you, that's great. But don't expect it to sell a lot of copies. You've got to figure out who is going to be buying that book, and you got to start with that thought process in mind.
Exactly. So when you're doing those daily writing coach things, so you're saying the And I Thought ladies will be some of your
Oh, absolutely. I would love to have you. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to step in and participate, I am more than happy to have you on board.
Okay, great. We love being co-hosts. We love it.
I just want to this one thing, Jay.
Yeah.
So you go off camera today and just take all my narcissism with you.
Well, no, I knew that you were coming around to it, so I just thought I'd do it first.
Yeah, I was actually. Though when she was talking, that was the first question I had. So where do I fit in?
No. So you being a writing coach, how do you think that will help your people in your excuse me, I have bronchitis, in your program for your television program? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, once they get on the show, I have lined up and 6 of the 10 coaches that I want to have in place are in place. And basically what I'm going to walk them through, I want them so prepared, not just for a publisher, but if they wanted to take a self-publishing journey, I want them that prepared, that they could step out, self-publish, and know that they could hit it. So they're going to get mindset training. They're going to get time management training. They're going to get personal style even coaching, how to dress so that they're their best all the time. And, sales and marketing, branding and style and sales and networking. We've got Donna Smith Bellinger is a good friend of mine. She works out of Chicago, and she is going to be doing the sales and networking training. She actually got invited to be a partner in a business based on the size of her personal network alone. She didn't have to put any money in. She had so many network connections that that's what they hired her for.
Exactly.
That is so very exciting.
So if anyone's watching this show and they want to hire some people for personal network, let me just mention that I have a decent one.
Yeah.
A joke.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, really, seriously, you're joking. But there are actually companies that get bought solely for the amount of connections they have.
Exactly. No,
I mean, connections are everything. If you can reach out and make those connections, and of course, that's not the end of the training for them. We also do PR and media outreach.
Yes.
Because being able to reach out to media outlets and being able to get yourself out there and to bigger audiences than you could do by yourself is such a critical piece of you being able to successfully sell that book. If nobody knows you wrote it, nobody's going to go buy it. But if people know you and they know what you produce and they know the kind of quality you bring, then they're going to go buy it.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't they?
We had to learn that the hard way.
So absolutely, you guys out there watching, remember to buy our book because you know us.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe love us is a little weird. And even the way I said it was a little weird.
It was.
Like us.
Oh, no, you want them loving you. I mean, you want them loving everything about you. You want them loving your sense of humor. You want them loving your story. You want them knowing who you are so that they can connect with you. Exactly. Because the more deeply and personal the connection feels, the more likely they are to buy into what you've got.
So pretty much what she's saying is we're going to, our people that are writing, we're going to have to be almost like London, where they view their authors as celebrities. You need to make that celebrity connection, because you know if a celebrity puts something out and you like them, you're going to go look at that product. Now are the same things. This is not just about writing. This is about branding. And this is what her television show is offering us in a large way.
Which is very exciting if you think about it, you guys, because a lot of people, they just say, well, write it and put it out in the world and people will buy it. And as writers, we are sold that bill of goods. And her show will totally show us the back workings of the publishing business, the writing business.
And I think that actually will set your show apart, because they have tried numerous occasions to have a show about writers, but they find that their life is either so bland, hence why I wanted to pitch my life for a reality TV show.
It's never bland.
Because it's never bland.
Yeah, mine is, I've been told that you should write a soap opera about your life. And I'm like, look, man, there is a point at which people say this is just too unbelievable. Not all of this stuff could not possibly happen to one person, except that it did. And so reality beats fiction every time. Fiction has to make sense, and reality does not have to confine itself that way.
Not at all. As we just said, any random Tuesday. Literally, actually, it would have been a random Thursday for me, and my whole life blew up yesterday. But I'm not going to talk about that, because that's for lawyers to discuss.
But yeah, so I mean, it's about getting those writers completely and totally prepared. Book proposals, book launch plans, the ability, training in how to speak and present themselves publicly, so that no matter where they go or what they choose to do after the show is over, they are ready to step out.
My technical stupid question is, what is your audience demographic? So pretty much, what is your perfect person to watch the show look like?
The perfect person to watch the show is somebody who's been sitting there with that book in their head for years, wanting to write it, but never having the courage to sit down and put pen to paper because they thought it was going to be too hard. I was that kid 20 years ago. I wanted to write a book, and I thought I would write a book, but I just thought, I don't know, I had this black box mentality where, somehow special people wrote books and got them published, and I did not think I was that special. So, so it took kind of a couple of kicks in the rump for me to actually end up being published. The first was NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. And that is what caused me to realize, hey, you know what, this whole writing a book thing, if I can do it in 30 days, heck, I can do it, right? So I did it the first time in 2004, but then I let time go by, and I didn't do it again until 2009. 2004 was really sloppy. It was kind of like the third grader chewed your lunch type not a very good book. It didn't even have an ending, but it did have the 50,000 words required to consider myself a winner. So I patted myself on the head and went on. But 2009, I had just walked away from a contract and was at home with nothing really going on. So I decided, okay, well, 30 days, no big deal. I'll make that commitment. 10 days into it, and my hard drive decides to die.
Oh.
And I'm like, and my husband, who is my tech support provider, it's cheaper to marry your tech support than it is to hire the 24/7 tech support.
Absolutely. They did that, and then I benefit from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Although it's good to ask for money, and I'm like what? No, you married my sister.
Yeah.
Like friend sister.
Like friend sister.
Exactly. So anyway, and he looks at my hard drive and he says, honey, I just don't think we're going to be able to recover it. I'm like, no, you can't tell me that. That's not happening. But I had to make the decision whether I was going to let that stop me from getting this book done, or I was going to start over and go ahead and write it. And I chose to start over. And 3 days later, I found a program that allowed me to recover my hard drive, which was nice. But the thing was, when I looked at the new manuscript that I'd created and compared it to the old manuscript that I'd written, this new one was better. And then the third version, which I put together after merging the two, was better yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up finishing on time. Congratulations to me. So I technically wrote a book in 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
And all it took was adjusting the word count just a little bit. So that, what I did was I sat down and I said, okay, well, I need to finish this by November 30th. It's now November 13th, so divide that word count by 17 days. And this is what I have to sit down and produce every day if I want to get my goal. And sure enough, I did. I think that's part of it too, is that people get overwhelmed by the numbers. You need 60,000 words, generally speaking, for a book to be considered publishable.
Exactly.
And so they get deer in the headlights when you mention 60,000 words, but break that down into a daily goal And it's not really that hard to imagine 1,500 words a day, because really 250 words is considered a page. So 250 words times 2 is 500 times 3, that makes for 6 pages. So it's not that much writing to do. You just need to sit down and think about your schedule and how you're going to get it done.
I think I'm going to go with my little tiny bit of coaching advice, because you know how you say 40 days? I was kind of chuckling over here because I was like, I can get a book done in 14, and most of the ones behind us took less than that.
Right. Yeah, and once you're really in the mood, you will. Books don't have to take that long.
Exactly. So I was going to say, one of the big things that I find is, like, I've never actually done word counts. I've always been like, my characters stay with me all day. And then, like, as I go through something, I may just go back and be like, how would my character respond to this today? You know, like, I'm riding down the road and I'll be like, well, how would my character respond in their world? And then you get, like, these words about how just trying to describe that. And that by itself is like half a chapter.
Yeah, usually. But I do the word counts.
The plot, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do word counts more because it's kind of like if you're plotting a trip from Texas to New York, and you've got your kid with you, and they're like in the back seat going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And you're like, no, we're not there yet. This is how far we've come. This is how far we still have to go. So for those who might be overwhelmed by the thought, it's like, okay, you've hit this mile marker. You now know this is how far in your journey you are. So don't stress, relax, enjoy the ride, but know where you're going. Know where you're ultimately trying to get to.
Exactly. So I have a few questions just about to make sure that we cover your real basis for you being here. Our lovely TV executive producer, who's going to be so famous that I'm going to be so like, I used to know her. She was
she hosted some of her YouTube.
Right.
So
well, technically, right now I'm acting as the executive producer, but that is something I need to shore up, is the person who will bridge the gap, because trying to get into Hollywood is about making the right connections.
Oh, so my word, it is so true, and it is very, very difficult to do.
It is really difficult.
Trying to get us there. Jay, you have a question. You raised your hand and everything.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
He can do that because she's off camera. I'm just jealous now, and she's over there like, sip my tea, stretch. A little chuckle when she wants to. I'm like, this is not fair. I gotta sit here and think.
Yeah, see, she was smart. She got sick in time to leave you with the heavy lifting.
I am straining. I'm like, anyway.
But yeah, I mean, it's not hard to come up with a good idea for television. Mm-hmm. It is hard to get somebody to adopt it. So that's why we do have backup plans in case we can't get a major television company to pick us up. We're looking at Netflix. We're looking at YouTube. We're looking at whatever we've got to do. I'm making this happen, at least for the first season, because we need to see. I think the biggest thing that stops people from trying to write is that they don't know what the process is. They don't have any clue, what it's going to really take to get them out there. And if you can show them what it really takes, then not only do you stop them from making some of the stupid mistakes they make in the first place, like not building an audience and just building a book, right? No company in the world does that. No successful company puts a product out there until it's been tested and tested and tested and tested, except for writers. We write and then we think about testing. Then we think about finding it.
We live our life in a dream world. Oh, what do you mean the dream world isn't real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got a question. For real this time.
I was going to say, now don't teach them too much, because then I'm going to have too much competition to somebody.
You're not lying.
Yeah, well, and actually, that's not something you should ever
fear. And that's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's a real fear that I get from a lot of really new authors. It's like, well, I've got this book, but I don't really want to share it with anybody because, what if somebody steals my idea? First of all, okay, ideas get stolen all the time. How many of us have written something based off of a fairy tale? Okay, ideas get stolen all the time. It's the greater way that human beings build new ideas. We take two different ideas and we merge them together into a third idea that's better. kind of like my manuscript was. You know, you take two different ideas, you know, merge them together, and you get a third better product. That's how it works. And the second thing is that there are ways you can truly protect yourself. Like there are sites out there where you can actually register your book's log line, which is the single sentence summary of what that book is about, so that if somebody else tries to come along and snipe it, well, you know, you've got protection. Exactly. But the biggest and best way to protect yourself is to tell more people about the idea so that everybody knows the idea was yours.
Exactly. And then you also have the fact that under law, it's like the copyright thing for creative rights. They almost automatically get copyrighted. Granted, you should do the log line, and then you could always do the poor man's copyright and still hold that court of law. I mean, you also have email logs nowadays. So as long as you email someone with the date stamp, that is also viable. Text message. And if you really want to hold yourself to this idea,
maybe you want to tell people what the poor man's
copyright is.
Yeah, that's where you. Yeah, that's where.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The poor man's copyright is when you write your idea and possibly some of your novel, and then you put it in an envelope and you seal it and have it certified mailed back to yourself and never break the seal. And then, like, when it's open in a court of law, it actually holds up because it's certified mail.
Yep.
Poor man's copyright. Anyway, not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there are multiple ways to protect your back end if you're worried about it. But like I said, the best way to protect yourself is to make sure everybody knows the idea came from you.
Exactly. Absolutely. I was just about to say, build a Facebook page or an Instagram or something and put your blurb out there as you go along writing, because, I mean, now you're responsible to the audience that comes along. And you're responsible to yourself to finish the book. But Brandy, I really, really want to get this information out as to what we need to do as writers and people in our audience to finally get our charming little faces on television.
Okay, well, here's how things are going to work. Starting March 1st, I'm going to be having the open casting competition. And it's going to start with exactly what we talked about, the Twitter. Right? You're just going to tweet your concept sentence with hashtag 40-day writer at the end. And, you know, out of those entries, we will look at how many retweets, how many likes, how many comments you get, because that kind of gives us a feel for what is the social response to this. Are people responding to that sentence? Are they really engaged with the idea behind it? And if they're not, then that maybe you just need to rework it until people start responding. And if you're having trouble, and the reason we're doing the hashtag at the end is so that people who are interested in the contest can quickly find those and scroll through them. That way it kind of helps to give you an audience that will be looking for those things, and it helps us to make it easier to select the contestants, because obviously you need some way to find them all. And the hashtag is a beautiful solution to that problem. So we'll start there, and then 10 days later, we'll close that into the competition. And we'll go through, we'll comb through, we'll find the top percentage of them. Depends on how many entries we receive, but, you know, about the top 10% is what we're aiming for. And then 3 days later, we will announce who gets to the next round. Those people that get to the next round will then have to put together a 30-second commercial about their book. They're going to have to sell it on YouTube, right? So, I mean, if you were to pitch this book to somebody live, what would you tell them that would get them interested in this book? And, you know, we'll be helping you. Part of the 40-day writing challenge, we'll tell you how to do that. So, you know, you're going to have all the information you need to be able to win this competition, if you really want to, in that 40-day writing challenge, which will launch 20 days before the open casting competition does. And because I want everybody to have their best chance. There are no losers in this competition. If you just step up and share, you're going to have help starting to build an audience. And by starting to build an audience, you'll be starting to build your success. So even if you don't make it to the show, you're still building an audience. And that's an invaluable thing as a writer. So after the YouTube, we'll give that 10 days to run. Obviously, the sooner you start in YouTube, the better off you'll be, because, you know, the sooner you can get judged. And then after that, the YouTube competition ends 3 days later, 10 days after it starts. 3 days later, we announce those winners. Those winners will need to hop onto Facebook this time. And what they're going to have to do is basically post the back of their book. We want to see, you know, make me want to buy that book. Okay, that's what I want. And again, it's based on likes and shares and comments that you get as to whether or not you're going to be chosen for the next round. Now, the fourth round, we'll be doing a crowdfunding campaign along with the open casting competition. If we don't raise a significant portion of the money through that crowdfunding campaign, this is the next stage. Those who make it past round 3 will be invited to round 4. We'll give them a webinar that'll explain more detail what they can expect to receive from us and what we expect from them. They'll get an idea of who's going to be the coaches on the show. And then they'll be told there's a $2,500 entry fee to get to the next round. But the good news is we will teach them how to raise that money. Okay, take all the information you put together about your book and do a crowdfunding campaign yourself. And we'll give them time to get that crowdfunding campaign done and cashed in so that they, you know, have the best chance possible. And then we'll move to round 5. Okay. So, and once round 5 is done, and round 5 is really, they're going to have to put together a business proposal. They're going to have to tell us how they plan to sell this book. And like I said, during the 40-day writing challenge, I'll have explained how to do that.
Nice.
And so they'll be prepared for it. But yeah, after round 5, they tell us how they're planning to sell this book. And then we pick from there the contestants that will actually make it to the show.
Okay.
Wow.
So
this is a lot of work, you guys. So if you want to,
but I'm telling you, if you want it, you
gotta work for it. And I mean,
absolutely.
Honestly, this is less work than trying to work and write that book by yourself without a coach.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's the whole thing, is that I think that the more that we get this culture engaged in writing, the more that we'll get them engaged in reading.
And reading, right.
And the more that we begin to see that words have power. That, you know, if you grew up in poverty like I did, you know, you may think that you don't have any options to get out, but your story is your power to get out. Your story is your power to get out of that situation. Because inside your story is everything you really have that's unique to you. Nobody else has your combination of experience, of skills, of knowledge, of insights and wisdom. Nobody else has that because nobody else has lived your life. So if you can package that together, you have something unrepeatable that you can sell.
That's very interesting. It's very true. I mean, and how do you guys think the And I Thought ladies have come about? I mean, it's really just us and our experiences, but also, as she said, growing up in poverty. I mean, I didn't grow up in poverty at all, and neither did Winona. But maybe, I mean, my parents weren't uber rich either. So, but reading and so will open your mind and make you go to worlds that you maybe can't touch, but because you read about it, when you get those opportunities to talk to somebody that maybe grew up and went to private school or grew up and just had that silver spoon, you'll have something to add to the conversation because you probably read the same book that they've read, or at least if they can talk about their parents were a lawyer or a doctor or something, if you've read books about it, then you can actually have something to add to the conversation.
This is great. And this is why they say about fiction readers that we tend to walk a mile in people's shoes and be a bit more empathetic. But anyway, Brandy, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Where can people find you? Because we shamelessly plug on this show.
It is 40daywriter.com, 40, and then the word day, writer, WRITER.com. I've had so many people go, writer? RIDER? No, not writer. That would be a whole different site.
Yes.
And it's 40daywriter, WRITER.com. And that's also where you can find more details about the show too.
I love your website, by the way. I find
it thank you.
Quite often now that I know who you are, I'm just like, oh, let me go see what she's doing now.
It's I mean, my blogs have been up for 4 years, so there's like a wealth of content in there. Even in there is a tricks on how to take any fairy tale that you've ever heard, break it down into an outline, and produce a totally new fiction story from it. So if you're looking for help writing, there's plenty of it in there, and it's all free for the taking. So
I have a quick personal question.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to wrap up the show.
Yeah,
and I can ask you personal questions
Yes.
later.
So here we go, you guys. You know that we are the And I Thought ladies, and we wrote with 11 other ladies, wonderful ladies, the And I Thought series, all of that you can pick up on andwethought.com. Check us out to see what we're doing later.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you, Jade.
She doesn't like money.
Since you got to lounge. I mean, she literally got to lay down on the chairs over there, and she got a blanket and everything.
You got to okay? So I'm trying to make it work.
But anyway, you can find us at And We Thought. That would be ANDWETHOUGHT.com. As Brandy was saying about writer and writer, we have the same thing with And We Thought and We Fought. It's THOUGHT.com.
We didn't fight, y'all. That's crazy.
Exactly.
But yes, you can find all that we're doing on andwethought.com. And
I would like to interrupt once again. Last time, I promise. Okay. Also, you can also find out about the conference that is coming up, and Brandy Miller is a speaker there.
Yeah.
From Jade's expression, she was about to say that. And that would be the Inspirational Women in Literature Conference. And you can also find more about our charity, our program for domestic violence at scarletrblack.com. Okay, Jade, since I stole words out of your mouth, just like you stole comfort from me today, you can finish.
So you guys, you can pick up our books on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. And we just want to end with saying that wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona
and Jade.
I'm going to throw her peace sign.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.